Solve negative 2 times the absolute value of 5x minus 1 minus 3 is equal to negative 11. Now, your natural instinct is going to be to say, oh, there's no solution because an absolute value can't be equal to a negative. But guess what? That's not what you have here. You have an absolute value on the left, but there are all of these other things that are over there with the absolute value that are affecting what's going to happen to that number. So before you can say it's not possible, you have to get the absolute value by itself. So you cannot make a decision about whether or not an absolute value equation is possible until you have the absolute value on a side by itself. So get the absolute value on a side by itself. That's always going to be the first thing that you do before you start making a decision about a problem. So let's do that. First, we're going to add 3 to both sides. So we have negative 2 times the absolute value of 5x minus 1. Those will cancel. Is equal to negative 8. Okay. Then we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. And so those will become 1. And so we have the absolute value of 5x minus 1. And I'm going to make these a little bit bigger so I won't be confused with the absolute value and the 1 is equal to 4. So now we have the absolute value of 5x minus 1 is equal to 4. Is that possible? Absolutely. So can we solve this equation? Yes, we can. So now it's time to solve. We want to make 2 equations. So our first equation is going to be 5x minus 1 is equal to 4, because that's going to give me the value that is 4 units to the right. Our second equation then is going to be 5x minus 1 is equal to negative 4, because that is going to give me the distance that is 4 units to the left. Notice that on both of these, I do not have absolute value signs. So let's solve them. So for the one on the left, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So 5x, those cancel, is equal to 5. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5 so that x is equal to 1. And then for the other one, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So 5x is equal to negative 3. Divide both sides by 5. And x is equal to negative 3 over 5. So here are my 2 values. I have x is equal to 1 and x is equal to negative 3 over 5. Now, when you get these answers, you always need to check. You always need to check. That doesn't mean that you have to draw a number line. We can check algebraically. So over here on the left, I'm going to check to make sure that 1 is a solution. So I'm going to do negative 2 times the absolute value of 5 times 1 minus 1 minus 3 equals negative 11. So I got to do this math. So that's going to be negative 2 times 5 times 1 is 5, minus 1 is 4, times the absolute value of 4, minus 3 equals negative 11. The absolute value of 4 is just 4, so I have negative 2 times 4 minus 3 is negative 11. Negative 2 times positive 4 is negative 8 minus 3, which is negative 11, is equal to negative 11. So that works. So x minus 1 is one of my answers. Now let's check negative 3 over 5. So I have negative 2 times the absolute value of 5 times negative 3 over 5 minus 1, absolute value minus 3 equals negative 11. So 5 times negative 3 over 5, those will become 1. So I'm going to have negative 3 minus 1 inside of my absolute value. Negative 2 on the outside minus 3 equals negative 11. Negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So that's negative 2 times the absolute value of negative 4 minus 3 is equal to negative 11. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4. So that's negative 2 times 4 minus 3 is equal to negative 11. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8 minus 3 is equal to negative 11. And negative 11 is equal to negative 11. So both of these are true. So for this problem, x is equal to 1 and x is equal to negative 3 over 5.